Evening, everyone. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are very excited to have everyone with us this evening. So, on behalf of Nigerian REITs, I especially welcome everyone on board to this important seminar titled Role of Traditional Leaders in Promoting Literacy and National Values. This webinar is actually part of the initiative by Nigeria called Niger Read First, which is mostly advocate for everywhere. And in a, we are having the 18 allowed record allowed actually take not being coming around like they around said and here to announce the special appearance of His Royal Majesty Oba Adedokun Omoniyi Abolarin, the Orongun of Okeila Orongun in Osun State. He is a respected monarch, lawyer, teacher, reformer, and servant leader. I also want to recognize and appreciate everyone present here today, joining us online, stakeholders in education, culture, governance, and all participants who believe in the power of literacy and values to shape our nation's future. Thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. We are having this webinar because we actually believe in the power of literacy to ensure that our national values are upheld, and we understand the roles that national leaders have been playing of old and the roles that they still play in shaping culture and allowing there to be morality and giving wisdom to this society. That it is my to introduce our keynote speaker, His Royal Majesty Oba Adedokun Omoniyi Abolarin, the Orogun of Ila-Oron, Kábíyèsí, who explained traditional ruler, scholar, and humanitarian kinship, service, education, and nation building. Born on September 25, 1958, into the Oba Osholo ruling house, Oke-Ila Orongun, Osun State, degree in political science, City of Ife, and a law degree in laws, passionate advocate of education, Abolarin of Abolarin College, a tuition-free boarding school committed to empowering indigent students through quality education. More than being a founder, Kabiesi is also a teacher at the school, instructing students in government, civic value, and life skills while personally mentoring many of them through Abolarin College and his reign. Oba Adedokun Abolarin exemplifies the power of visionary leadership rooted in service, character, and national pride. Your Majesty, it is a great honor to have you with us today. And with utmost respect, Kabiesi, I now invite you to deliver your speech. Thank you, sir.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening,
Miracle, it's my great honor and pleasure to be part of this all-important gathering of leaders of the future. And I say the future is almost here. I was once like you, vibrant, with vision, not to be a monarch, but to be one of the active participants in the affairs of men in this country. But as fate will have it, I am the Orongun of Okeila Orongun in the federal local government of Osun State. It's so exciting to be here and for your generation to still have hope in the traditional institution, that we still have things to do. And I so much believe that the institution is relevant because of the regard, because of the love, because of the affection that our people have for the institution. And it's a major. I didn't know this until I became the Honorable Fokela. I didn't know this until I became the Honorable Fokela in 2006. I didn't know the importance of the institution. But I now value the greatness of the institution in developing and promoting the greatness of the future of this great country. Yes, our forebears were interested in what we call Idagbasoke. Idagbasoke means development. And as with due respect as a lawyer, I lay emphasis on the Constitution in laws, despite the fact that very many of us do not believe or do not have faith in the 1999 Constitution as amended. This all-important topic of the day is well encapsulated under Section 23 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. Section 23 specifically states, and I read, the national ethics shall be discipline, integrity, dignity of labor, social justice, religious tolerance, self-reliance, and patriotism. All these are so important in moving any society forward. But again, there's a rider. This Section 23 is not justiciable. You cannot go to the court and say that you want the court to interpret this section because it's a section that we always refer is under the fundamental objectives and directive principles of state policy that we know not to be justiciable. But these are the aspirations of a society. I'm going to use my life on the throne to explain this all-important topic. I've delivered a series of lectures around this area. Our forebears were known to be interested in conquering territories, amassing humans negatively and pushing them into slavery in the 16th, 15th, 17th century. And I tell my colleagues that the Kabiesi concept may not be relevant in a parliamentary system, in a constitutional environment. Section 1 of the Constitution specifically states, and I refer to the Constitution as the Kabiesi, the all-knowing, everything, the ground norm in the state. I'm going to read Section 1. and Section 1, yes, this Constitution is supreme, and its provisions shall have binding force on all authorities and persons throughout the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I tell my colleagues, there are certain things that you may want to do. You think that you have the enormity of powers like in the days of old, but there is a check. We are under the law. The Constitution is supreme, and its provisions shall have binding force on all authorities, not some authorities, on all authorities and persons throughout the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So it's important for all of us to live within the ambit of the 1999 Constitution. And this is a constitution that very many of us have not gone through, but we always discard. It's not a good constitution. It is not this, it's not that. But I know that nation building is not a thing you get done overnight. And that's why I'm so happy with the caliber of young souls who are part of this special event this evening. Wherever we stop, you carry on, because we have no other country apart from this country. Yes, there are so many shenanigans all around us, but nation building is not a thing you get done overnight. Nation building is a process. It's a process, and you can imagine what is happening even in well-established democracies of the world. Look at what is happening in the United States of America presently. Years after the commencement of their constitution. So it's a process, and we mustn't lose hope. We mustn't lose hope in this great country. Yes, my assignment this evening is to encourage you that despite the shenanigans, there are many things that are not done rightly. Okay? But we continue to push. And like I always tell people, that in your own little corner, you fix it. And that's what we're trying to do with this all-important gathering this evening. We're trying to contribute our own little quota to the greatness of this country, to the future of this country, because all hands must be on deck. So, first and foremost, I appreciate you for understanding that the traditional institution is still relevant, that the traditional institution is still important, and that you can get a lot of things done with our people through the traditional institution. And I say it all the time, I didn't go to school to be a king. I didn't wish it for myself. I had other important aspirations. But faith, the almighty faith, brought me to where I am. And I thank God for what we are doing in our own little environment, that the whole world is now trying to see the little we are doing. And teaching, learning, I've seen a lot. There's poverty in the land, and there are too many talents in the land. There are too many talents in the land. The Abolarin College thing that you read in my resume, yes, I was a teacher, I was a lecturer in the then Oyo State College of Arts and Science, Ile-Ife, and I ended my public service career as a lecturer at the then St. Andrews College of Education before I became a lawyer, and I was called to the bar in 1991. And I see poverty all around me. And as a leader of the people, I know that I cannot totally eradicate poverty. Poverty was in existence during the time of our Lord Jesus Christ and during the period of Muhammad, and poverty will always be with us. But we can do everything within our powers to reduce poverty because it's in our interest. Where you have majority of the people living in squalor, living in abject poverty, then you know that that society is cut out for total dissolution and disintegration because majority cannot be living in abject poverty and you have minority living in grandeur. And that is what we presently have in Nigeria. And so, in my own little corner, laying emphasis on the scriptures, I use it all the time. And my principle, my policy as an Ogun Fokela is well embedded in the book of Isaiah 58:12. And they that shall be of thee shall build the old waste places. Thou shalt build foundations of many generations, not one generation, not two generations, many generations, and thou shalt be called the repairer of the breach and the restorer of the parts to dwell in. And so, in my own little way, this is all I've been doing since I became the king in 2006. And I use everything within my means to make sure that we improve our environment. We make life better. And it's doable if all of us actively participate. We know that we are government and not those people in government alone are the government. We are in government. It's a representative democracy. And that is what exactly the program of this event is trying to galvanize, encourage, and participate in the democratic process. I crave the indulgence of all of us that we should look at section 23 of this constitution very well. I'm going to read it again. National ethics. The national ethics shall be discipline. In discipline all around us. And I do all within my powers to make sure that my children are disciplined. You see shenanigans all around us, indiscipline everywhere, even in the remotest part of the state of Osun. Okela is the extreme of the state, rural, but we are yearning for development. And the only way you can create, you can galvanize development is by being disciplined. Integrity. I'm just going through the publication of Femi Otedola, making it big. These are things that as entrepreneurs, you must imbibe. If you want to make good money, if you want to be relevant in whatever spheres of human endeavor, discipline is key. Integrity is key. And what exactly are we saying with integrity? Honesty. I can easily trust you. And honesty, trust is in short supply in Nigeria. Here in Okela, I tell my children all the time, it's like, it's too harsh. And I want the best for them. And for us to get things done in Nigeria, we all have a lot of work to do. It's like we have not started at all. We have not started at all. And this is where I see the carelessness and the uselessness, with due respect, the carelessness and the uselessness of the Nigerian elite. It's a selfish elite. It's an elite that does not think of the next man. It's an elite that does not believe that we are going to get their patriotism, because we don't believe in ourselves. And the greatest crisis that I think we have as a people is, hardly do we value who we are. I listened to my daughter, excellent speech, presentation, excellent. You can compare with any soul anywhere in the world. But the greatness of who we are, we cannot see. We are so gifted in almost everything. Beautiful environment, but that we are indisciplined. Integrity is not our watchword. And with due respect, I display this all the time. If you give me, there are certain things that I won't like to say, but people know that apart from being a man of honor, I so much value my name. If you give me 5,000, if 5,000 is meant for all of us, I'm open. I'll let people know that, yes, I have a gift of 5,000 for all of us, and I'm going to adequately give record as to how the 5,000 naira is spent or expended. That is integrity. I tell people, on fear joba, you are a king, you are a traditional ruler that people revere, that even your people are much, much older than you respect you. What else do you want the Lord Almighty to do for you? I'm contented. I thank God for where I am. I say it all the time. The best place in the world for me to be is Okela, because there are too many things to be done. There are too many things to fix. And I'm not in competition with no Jack. No, I'm not. I have too many responsibilities to cater for and to start to chase this or that. And I see the old Federation of Nigeria as my constituency, despite the fact that I'm the Onogun of Okela. And that's why when you come to Abolarin College, you see children from all over Nigeria, but who are from poor homes. I always tell people the poor have right to quality education. My son ought to be in the school, but I can pay. So that's why he's in another school. Okay? Now, discipline, integrity, then dignity of labor. Dignity of labor, dignity of labor. It's important. And you find out that many of us are so lazy now. You want to fix it quickly, whereas it's a process. There was a time, even after graduation, that I didn't have more than 2 or 3 shoes. But to the glory of God today, I have as many shoes that I have not worn the last 5 years. So it's a process. It's a process. You work hard. You work hard. Hard work is important. It's key. You know how to create wealth. You know how to manage wealth. You know how to use wealth for the good of the common man. And a whole lot of us don't even know a whole lot of us don't even know the we don't even know the principle of the common good. Common good. You cannot think of your own interest alone and think that things should be done. You think that the society will move forward. You have to think of the interest of the majority of the people. That's why I thank the Lord Almighty for this great opportunity to relate with your generation and to give you hope that if a soul like the Orogun of Kokela, could, abandon everything that he has been able to achieve professionally and to now stay in Okela Orogun, so there's hope for us in the foreseeable future. You should not lose hope. In your own little corner, you fix it. In your own little corner, you fix it. And you promote all these values that are so key, that are so sacrosanct. Dignity of labor. I've been advocating it. Our secondary school children must have at least a day in a week to use their hands in cleaning their schools and their school's environment, creating wealth on the farm, and create wealth for the people of Osun State and the people of Nigeria. It's doable. We do it in our school, in Abolarin College. My children, to the glory of God, we encourage them. We encourage them to use their hands. They clean their environment. They clean their environments themselves. Some of them cook in the kitchen. Oh, farming is part of our culture. Dignity of labor. Social justice. Oh, Kabiyesi, you have the right to. Oh, you have the right to excommunicate children in your society, in your community that don't behave well. No, I don't have that right to. I dare not do it. The issue of rights. You listen to the other party. I cannot be a judge in my own court. Okay? Honor, dignity. And these are values that I so much promote. And I tell people, these are values that we must promote if we want Nigeria to be recognized as a state within the international system. We are blessed. We are endowed. And the world is seeing the world is now beginning to note the greatness of the peoples of Nigeria. Not a particular geopolitical zone. All parts of Nigeria. I've seen it in my children from the north. Bulus, Asabala, Fati, they work so hard. The elites are just keeping the people of Nigeria down because of our selfishness. And these are values that we must reinvent. These are values that we must continue to place properly on the front burner. Then religious tolerance. I have my children here in the palace. To the glory of God, I call them my children. Farouk, Samad. They are Muslims, trained in Abolarin College. And as a Christian and as a traditional ruler, my emphasis is on the Bible. 1 Peter 2:17 expressly states, honor all men, not honor some men, honor all men, love the brotherhood, fear God and honor the king. I'm going to expand the honor the king to those people who are in government. They must be honored. And at the same time, they must be checked in a democracy. Because the tendency is power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. So these are well embedded, these are well stated in our 1999 Constitution. And I'm just imploring all of us not to totally discard our Constitution. I'm just advising all of us to look at the Constitution, 1999 Constitution, and read regularly and imbibe the provisions in this Constitution, and for you to now expand the scope of the Constitution and make it to be dynamic and make it to be a living thing. And I tell people all the time, how can my history be static? How can my culture be static? My culture can never be static. I will never, they know it in Okelon here, I will never, and as much as I'm so cultural, I love my tradition and culture. But I am not going to do a thing that my forebears were doing that won't promote social justice. Let me give you a good example. My forebears of old, for them to be fed, virgins naked must kneel down to feed them. Do you now say that because I'm a traditional ruler, I must apply that in 2025? No way. Culture must be static. History too must be static. Our history is important. Our history is important. But again, if you are now saying that the Roman Empire existed, the Roman Empire is no longer in existence. Until the 60s, the 50s, the British Empire, our fathers, our mothers sang the British anthem. They knew the British anthem offhand. They grew up with the British traditions. Yeah. But you don't, your generation don't even know anything about the British Empire any longer, even myself. So that is the dynamism in man. And I'm imploring you, in everything that you do, be dynamic. Do not be static. Think of the future. How do you hand over the necessary values that can promote the greatness of the society to the coming generation? I say it all the time. We have all it takes. We have all it takes. I've seen it. I thank God for the opportunity of coming to the rural, local part of Osun State. There are too many talents in the land. And we have all it takes to be the undisputed #1 country in Africa and one of the very best in the world, because we are so much endowed. We are so gifted. Everything is in abundance. But Section 23 that very many of us don't take into consideration, and that is so important to us in this forum, and that, I mean, specifically saying that I must talk around these values, is because we know the importance of these values. And religious tolerance, self-reliance. We are too verbose. We cannot see beyond today. And so that's why we don't appreciate history. And if you don't appreciate history, there's a likelihood that self-reliance may elude us, we may not be able to take a peep into the future. And I say it all the time. My future is extremely important, but I'm not going to be part of that future. I graduated from the then University of Ife, my first degree in 1980, political science, with a master's degree in international relations, 1983. I went back to school to read law in the same university, Obafemi Awolowo University, 87 to 90. I graduated as a lawyer and I was called to the bar in 1991. I've spent mine. It's yours that is so important now. And that's why you must not lose hope. Internalize all these values, and with that, we'll get it right. It may not be an immediate thing. Then patriotism. How many of us are patriotic? How many of us are patriotic? In fact, it pains me. I lost my dear wife about 3 months ago, and I'm blaming myself because I believe in the system here. I believe that we can get things done here, but I know our time was up. But it's important for all of us to believe in the system, to create a better future where all hands will be on deck, where we'll be able to position Nigeria as a great country, where we'll be able to position Nigeria as the undisputed #1 country in Africa and one of the very best in Nigeria and in the world. The green and white green passport should open doors for us. We have a lot of us outside of Nigeria who do all sorts of horrible things because we worship money as if money is everything. Money is important. But I pray that all of you on this platform, you distinguish yourself variously. Yes, you're a good artist, you're a skillful player, you're a fantastic administrator, you're one of the most vibrant traditional rulers ever produced in this country. You become the head of state and get things done properly, promoting openness and participation. That should be the clarion call. And you have all this well embedded in the provisions of our Constitution. And I must confess, all that I see is to promote and create and recreate a promising future where no man is going to be oppressed. I thank you all for this great opportunity. If you have any questions for me, you are free to ask, and I'm here to answer your questions. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful and beautiful session, Your Majesty. I was so inspired, particularly concerning the national values and ethics that we are supposed to have as Nigerians. I'm not even so sure that we were taught that in the NYSC camp. But even if I'm not taking anything home, I'm definitely taking that home. And I'm taking that home that I should also, keep it up in my corner, even if it seems like it's difficult. Not all Nigerians are doing that. I should make sure I uphold those national ethics. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, so to everyone on the call, you can feel free to type your questions in the chat box or raise up your hand if you have questions. We're moving right to the question and answer section. So while we wait for the questions to come in, I have a question for Kabiesi. Sir, you've been deeply involved in youth education and empowerment. I would like you to probably share a story or experience that shows why literacy, educating people, is so personal to you, and you had to, build a college to ensure that people go to school. Is there any particular reason for that?
Yes, it's because I believe in the greatness of education. With education, you can get a lot of things done. Let me give you a good example. It was my father's brothers that sent my father to school. My father was already going to the farm in 1935. But his brother said, no, we are sending our brother to school. If my father hadn't gone to school, we won't be where we are today. And to the glory of God, it's a family that is well read, where you have professors, where you have entrepreneurs, you have lawyers that are doing very well. We always make fun around that. If we hadn't gone to school, we'd be scrabbling on the little farmland and be killing ourselves because of the little farmland in our community. But these are things we don't look at. And I pursue education vigorously. I wrote a piece on my Facebook page today. The former first lady of Ondo State, Dr. Mrs. Betty Anyawu Akeredolu, gave two of my children slots for a BMO for young girls in Ibadan. The rate of each participant 770,000 naira. For me, gratis. That's empowering our girls, because I believe in the greatness of women. I believe in the greatness of girls. We have to build you people up. You are in control of everything. You are in control of KBC. You are in control. You are in charge of. A man who doesn't know the importance of women is a gunner. So we're trying our utmost best to develop the so-called rural, brilliant children. And I have 4 again. The boot camp in Alex Tuduyemi, being trained for coding and robotic. I don't know anything about robotic or coding. Well, it's a generational thing. I poke fun at myself. Yeah, people think that I'm Gen Z, but I know I'm analog. I'm just there's my son very close to me here. If anything should go wrong, they'll assist me to fix 1 or 2 things. Okay, and the future is too important. And just like Chief Obafemi Awolowo, Nelson Mandela, and other great leaders of the past laid emphasis on quality education for the people. So also high on Abolarin Aroyike, so much passionate about using education to fight poverty. Education is key to fight poverty. And all of us education can never be a scam. It's not possible for education to be a scam. It's not possible. Education can never be a scam. If you're a carpenter and you are well educated, you are going to do it very well. If you are a tailor and you are well, look at Vodi, and you do excellently well. That is the importance of education. And so we should not, I'm interested in promoting quality education at whatever level. Thank you.
All right. Very much, sir, for that answer. Literacy education helps to eradicate poverty, and so it's necessary ensure that our communities are well trained and educated. Thank you, sir. Okay, so please, sorry, please, can you, if you have a question, can you mute your mic or call? Okolo Grace, please. Mute your mic. Okay, so everyone, please, if you have any question, don't hesitate to raise up your hand or type it in the chat box. Okay, so I have another question for you. So we are in a generation whereby there's a lot of distractions. People don't even want to embrace the reading culture again. There's TikTok, there's Instagram, there are quick ways to make money, and people don't want to read again. You rarely see someone saying, I'm reading this book and then I'm going on to another book. So what do you think traditional leaders can do to inspire communities and people in their community to imbibe the reading culture and once again? Thank you.
I I use my social media platforms a lot. My Instagram page, my Facebook page. I last Are you hearing me, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Last I about 2 days ago, I wrote about my experience in booksellers. That's my favorite. That's my favorite bookshop in Ibadan. And a lot of people share the story. We are doing that to encourage your generation. Reading is part of my life. And I said it earlier, I'm reading, making it big. The latest book, best-selling book in Nigeria now by Femi Otedola. I've gained a lot reading the book. I've read almost all the books on Nigerian civil war. Yes, it's key, it's important. But it's not only in Nigeria alone. No. The CNN, only last week, that the reading culture in the United States of America has drastically dropped from 1999 with about 55% now to about 19% even in the United States of America. I think it's not right. Yes, all the we should artificial intelligence, coding, yes, still relevant. But at the same time, we must never lose sight of ideas because ideas rule the world. Yes, over to you, Miracle.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for
Pleasure.
that cogent answer. So going on to the next question, I would like to ask how you think literacy can actually help to reduce conflict, ignorance, and poverty in the nation. Because, truth be told, my generation kind of believes that it almost does not show that you go to school because we have a lot of graduates out there that are looking for a job, and even the job you get with your certificates sometimes is not worth it. You see people telling graduates to come and get job for like 30,000, and looking at the way things are in the country, it's almost impossible and difficult to live on that type of job. And then it's almost looking like education is scam, even though you've told us that education is not scam. So how do you think literacy can actually help reduce poverty, ignorance, and conflict in the
These are
community?
these are things that I've expressly stated. You look at section 23 again, internalize it. Dignity of labor. Dignity. You're able to use your hand. You prepare yourself for leadership, and that's what you're doing. The leaders, the present leaders, those that trained us, most of them have gone. My leader, Chibola Ige, died almost 20 years ago. The present set of leaders won't be around. Most of them won't be around in the foreseeable future. So it's meant for you. And that's why I use the words of Abraham Lincoln all the time. I'm going to read. I'm going to get myself prepared, thinking that my own time will come. Your time will come. We didn't get to where we are overnight. A journey, a process. Prepare yourself hard. Education, when men and women of ideas, when they are brainstorming, people who don't have ideas won't be able to be part of that session. When they want to decide about policies that will move the nation forward, those people who are lazy, who are laid back, people who do not have dignity, they are not likely to be part of it. I'm not saying that it's important that it's 100% that you have to. Femi Otedola is proud to tell people that he left school lower six. Lower six. His father and mom were trained in the United Kingdom, but he had a vision, hardworking. From day one of his life, he was pursuing legitimate entrepreneurial journey. If you know that's where you want to, why not? If you know you want to be a footballer, why not? But education is key. Education is important. For me, I know that it's too important. It's too important.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for
My pleasure. My
telling
pleasure. My pleasure.
that education is important. Abiola Joshua Latipupo said, "Thank you, Kabiesi, for this insightful, thought-provoking, and powerful lecture. There is dignity in labor. A big
Yeah.
takeaway for me. We appreciate you, sir." Okay,
Thank
so
you,
we are
sir.
supposed to by 9 o'clock. The last question before we wrap it up is finally, I know you've given us a lot of advice, but what is the last take-home advice you will give to young Nigerian youths who are listening to you about reading
Please,
and life
please,
learning?
please read extensively. Don't joke with books. Leaders are readers, and leader must always be readers. Okay? And the future is yours. And believe in Nigeria. Be patriotic. I pray that we have people like Miracle and others in in the affairs of men and women in the foreseeable future. From what I've seen this evening, I think we are doing the right thing, promoting and projecting into the future. And the future is so close. Do not lose hope. Believe in yourselves. Read hard. And again, just like Abraham Lincoln, I'm going to read. I'm going to get myself prepared, thinking that my own time will come. Work hard. Be honest. You mustn't be greedy. You mustn't be complacent. You must have a vision for the future. Create, and I know that it's going to be well with you. We shouldn't lose hope about Nigeria. And I pray for your generation that the Nigeria of your time is going to be far, far better than what you presently have. I thank you for this great opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. I'm so, I don't know, blessed, challenged, pumped up to go out there and make sure that I'm intentional about upholding Nigeria values, Nigeria ethics, and I believe that everyone here is also pumped up to do that. In fact, I'm even considering maybe for the remaining hours of our 18 days marathon, we'll just, go way out and read the Nigerian constitution, or
Please
maybe at
do.
least three
Please
of the
do. Please do. And if maybe I'll just tell Sadiq, I'll get you a copy of, because it's a good book, Making It Big by Femi Otedola. I can get you a copy and be part of your, I promise I'll buy it for you. Okay?
We
It's a
appreciate
promise.
it, sir.
I'll buy it
Thank you.
for you. All
Thank you
right.
so much
My
for
pleasure.
taking out to have this section with us. We are really, we hope that we're going to pushing for literacy and advocating for it. And then one thing you said that also, got my attention was that don't be static. Ensure that we pass down these values and ethics to the upcoming generation and make sure that it's continuing, and then just shine your light, just keep the values in whatever corner that you are. And I believe that everyone here has that. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming to this meet. In the spirit of literacy, advocating with the little that you could do. I was actually really pumped up with, the idea that you actually knowledge that is free. And I read one of your articles on the Tribune, and time that you were granting that interview, the present head boy was from Delta State. So it wasn't even just about Yoruba or something. It's also
No.
promoting cultural dynamics, ensuring that we are one as a nation. And it's something that really challenges me to make sure that we are also helping others to get the poverty and to uphold the national values. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for coming to this webinar. So we've come to the end of the webinar. The rest of your evening. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Kabiyesi. I'm
My
very
pleasure.
grateful, sir.
My pleasure. My pleasure. My pleasure.
We're looking forward to the book, sir.
Okay. Okay. Okay.